Good evening and welcome friends to this Thursday edition of Versus, in which we are bringing to you the controversy, the row around Sengol in Parliament. Stoked this time by a newly elected Samajwadi Party MP R.K. Chaudhary. He believes that instead of Sengol in the Lok Sabha next to the Speaker, there should be a copy of the Constitution, and that Sengol was BJP politics. BJP obviously has hit back, seeing in this yet another attack by the Samajwadi Party on the Hindu traditions, on Sanatan Dharma and India's civilizational heritage. Because according to the BJP, the Sengol, which the Samajwadi Party MP says is a symbol of kings and empires, while Constitution is a symbol of a new republic, the BJP believes that this is clearly an attack on India's civilizational heritage. That's going to be our conversation in this edition of Versus. Let's look at the facts that have emerged since that comment was made by the Samajwadi Party MP, and then I come back with a panel of guests.
भारत में बाबा साहब डॉक्टर अम्बेडकर बनाया हुआ संविधान लागू है। सेंगोल प्रतीक है राजतंत्र का। तो राजा डंडा लेके बैठता था, जो फैसला कर दिया और डंडा पीट दिया तो वो फैसला मानता था। अब भारत में संविधान लागू है, यहाँ लोकतंत्र है। इस देश का हर वो आदमी जो बालिग है और उसका वोटर लिस्ट नाम है, अपने हिसाब से अपना प्रतिनिधि चुनता है। तो संसद में सेंगोल रखना ये लोकतंत्र का अपमान है।
This is Samajwadi Party MP R.K. Chaudhary. His demand to remove the Sengol, a Hindu-Tamilian symbol, from the parliament has sparked a political row. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav has backed his MP. INDI has joined in too.
मुझे लगता है कि हमारे सांसद इसलिए कह रहे होंगे कि जब पहली बार लगा था तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बाकायदा प्रणाम किया था। इस बार शपथ लेते समय शायद वो भूल गए। उसी को याद दिलाने के लिए लगता है मेरे पार्टी के सांसद ने कुछ इस तरह का पत्र लिखा है।
Government has always been playing with this kind of things by placing Sengol and other kind of things and making a high drama in the new parliament building was inaugurated. In that time itself, we had commented on our position, and this is a good suggestion from the Samajwadi colleague.
देखिए बिल्कुल हटाना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये लोकतंत्र है, डेमोक्रेसी, और वहाँ पे अब राजतंत्र तो रहा नहीं। तो अगर सिंगल को लगाना ही चाहिए तो उसको म्यूजियम में रखना चाहिए, जहाँ की देश के सभी लोग जाएं और वहाँ पे उसका दर्शन भी करें।
Prime Minister Modi placed the Sengol scepter in the Lok Sabha last year during the inauguration of the new parliament building. It was handed over to the Prime Minister by spiritual leaders from the southern state of Tamil Nadu. The DMK has found another excuse to attack Sanatan Dharma.
It is the silly politics played by BJP. They're trying to woo the sentiments of the which they want. Their narrative. We do not do that in Tamil Nadu, but they are doing it here. Let them do whatever they want.
BJP has hit back.
Manufactured confidence. The Sengol exists and is part of our history. It has been done in the same manner there is a new parliament building. No one has explained why it disappeared. Now a sort of an argument is being built that it's a sort of a dynastic or a king's image and therefore should be not. Coming from a Samajwadi Party MP, it's ironical because that is a family-based party.
आपके क्षेत्र की जनता ने आपको विकास के कार्यों के लिए चुना है कि यहाँ पर आकर इस तरीके की विवादित राजनीति करने के लिए। भाई, जिस तरीके से ऐसे प्रतीकों को गलत दृष्टि में इतने दशकों से दिखाने का प्रयास किया गया, आज जब हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी के द्वारा उन्हें उचित सम्मान दिया जाता है, क्यों इन सारी चीजों से ऐतराज होता है?
With another attack on another Hindu symbol, INDI's anti-Sanatan politics is back.
All right, is Sengol a Raja ka danda, as the Samajwadi Party MP suggests, or is it a symbol of our civilizational heritage connecting north with south, east with west? And that's the reason why Prime Minister Narendra Modi thought of giving it a pride of place next to the Speaker in the Lok Sabha, in the new parliament. Joining me, Anurag Naidu, political analyst, leans towards the BJP, joining us live from Bengaluru. And good to have Sumant C. Raman back after a long time on this conversation, live from Chennai. Sumant C. Raman, is this almost like habitual now on the part of opposition to rake up issues which have nothing to do with governance, everything to do with political posturing, which is not in line with civilizational ethos of the country?
Okay. First of all, I think that discussing or passing a resolution on the emergency which happened 50 years ago was the priority for the ruling party for the last 2 to 3 days. They have been extensively discussing an issue on which the very party that propagated it has apologized to the country and said that it will never happen again. Now, that was deemed to be important. I agree that this is not really the priority issue which needs to be discussed now. But having said that, the Sengol, actually, I come from Tamil Nadu, so I know a bit about what this represents. This represents the rule of a emperor, rule of a just emperor, no doubt, but at the end of the day, an emperor. So this is not a symbol of democracy, nor is it a symbol of the governance of the people, by the people, and for the people. So therefore, for us to even, this same issue was raised even at the time the Sengol was installed. But at that point, the BJP was in a different position politically. So they could bulldoze anybody and everybody and get away with it. Now things have changed.
Yes.
And we are at 240. So therefore, these questions are being raised it is not the first time, Abhishek, this is not the first time, I repeat, that these questions have been raised. These questions were raised multiple times during the installation. So it is the same issue that is being
Sumant Raman, Sumant Raman, there is a bit of nuance there, what you're saying, but I am getting a breaking news development, so we'll cut to that and then I come back. Sumant Raman, hold on. The breaking news development is that HRD Minister, not HRD Minister, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan is all set to reply in the Lok Sabha on the issue of NEET scam. That's a very important development. And he is going to reply in the Lok Sabha on whatever developments that have taken place subsequent to the NEET scam coming out, and to assure through his statement the people of the country, particularly the student community and their parents, that the government is doing everything that's needed to keep things in check, to make sure that this scam does not get repeated, and any person involved in compromising the integrity of the NEET scam is brought to justice. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan to be making that statement. Moving on and coming back to the conversation we were having, Sumant Raman, you were saying that this is rule of emperor, perhaps a just emperor, but is there a nuance? Is it really the rule of emperor which the Sengol symbolizes, or a reminder to a just emperor about rule of law, in which case everything changes? And
no, it doesn't change.
No, it changes. It changes. It is not a symbol of rule of emperor, right? It is a symbol of rule of law and a reminder, a visible reminder in front of the eyes of the emperor at that time, and now before the members of parliament, that be you ever so high, you are not above the law.
I'm a little confused by what has been happening. You are a little confused. There is no emperor in India.
I am saying the members of parliament. I did not say emperor. I said emperor then, MPs now.
You are still living in the past.
I am not, Sumant Raman. I said emperor then and MPs now.
Recently, they were living 50 years ago in the emergency. Before that, Babur did this, Aurangzeb did that, Mughals did this, British did that. I mean, no, British they won't say, because British are the good guys, according to many of them. But look, let's face it, at the end of the day, it does symbolize a rule of a ruler. There are no rulers in India today. That is why we use the term public servant, government servant. Why do we do that? because they are supposed to be in service of the people. They are not the rulers. Unfortunately, we have, for all practical purposes, allowed them to rule us. But that does not officially give it a stamp that they are meant to rule us. Unfortunately, that is not the situation, much though certain people would like it to be that way.
I am in disagreement, Sumant Raman, with you on this argument that you are saying that this is
on the emperor.
On the emperor part. This is rule of law, not rule of emperor. Okay. But I'll let Anurag Naidu respond to you.
Well, I have a simple question. You know, what is the basic narrative that Sumant, my friend Sumant, and all other people are trying to build is it is a symbol of an emperor, it is a symbol of a kingdom. Now, I have a simple question. August 14th, 1947, 10:45 p.m., when Jawaharlal Nehru accepted this Sengol, was he accepting the fact that he is going to be the king? Was he accepting the emperorship? Was he accepting to be the king of the kingdom? Please answer that. So they was all happy when it is all in the history books that he accepted.
What did Nehru do with it?
You don't have any reasoning for that. I'm coming to this. Sir, let me please complete. Now, what is a Sengol? It is decorated with many precious stones. The Sengol is 5 feet long and carries a golden orb at the top. And there's an interesting fact. The orb has a carving of Nandi, the bull that is precious to Lord Shiva. Is it a danda? Can somebody tell that is it a danda? Now, for people, you know, whether it's a Samajwadi Party MP or anyone, to call it a danda, I think that there cannot be a bigger insult than this to the whole Indian civilization. Now, Sengol is a representation of a political heritage. Now, Cholas, when we talk about the Chola dynasty, the only thing that comes in our mind is about how well they ruled their empire, how well, politically, I'm saying from a political point of view, they were world's best naval army, they had world's best civilization, one of the best civilization, they had world's one of the best kingdoms. So you need to take the good things about it. Now, we don't want to talk about it, and on the first week of the parliament session, you question the very integrity of the Indian civilization and the symbol of Indian political civilization. I think it cannot go lower than this.
Abhishek.
Sumant Raman, there was a Freudian slip. There was a Freudian slip in the argument that you made earlier, or you put across, you know. Sumant Raman, you said, in the changed political realities. So obviously, you know, this is not about Sengol. This is about the opposition reading the mandate to its own advantage, saying that now that we have more numbers, the facts have changed, and as they see it, they can raise objections on everything that the Modi government might have done at 303 seats, because now they have 240 seats. So they should be questioned on everything. So it's basically, this posturing is a reflection of the changed numbers in the Lok Sabha, not as much about Sengol.
No, it is also a reflection of this, because earlier on it was my way or the highway. There was no debate, no discussion, nothing. There was a brute majority which was used to push everything down the throat of the opposition and indeed the people. Now, the argument that Jawaharlal Nehru received a Sengol is disingenuous. Now, Jawaharlal Nehru was greeted by thousands of people on the occasion of independence, and a group of seers or mutt heads from Tamil Nadu met him and presented it to him. What did he do with it? He accepted it and sent it straight to the museum. He did not say, let us take the Sengol and install it in the parliament. He did not do that. He said, yes.
No, so I think you are being economical with truth, Sumant Raman, there. It was not as simple as that. I think the seers really wanted Pandit Nehru to put the Sengol in parliament and act as a reminder for whosoever is governing, not ruling, but governing as part of the government, that be you ever so high, the rule of law is above you. But Pandit Nehru, the secularist that he fancied himself to be, thought that no, this is about traditions, this is about certain aspect of Hinduism. I mean, such a historian that Pandit Nehru was, he failed to see in it an inspirational story that the Chola Empire, and you draw inspiration, Sumant Raman, from it, expanded from Indian shores to Southeast Asia and beyond without the power of the sword, essentially a civilizational power. And Pandit Nehru refused to accept, acknowledge, and give it pride of place in Parliament. It was a request made by those seers which Pandit Nehru did not respond to and send it to a private, personal, family museum in Allahabad.
But he knew. But the fact is, he knew what the Sengol was all about. He knew. Pandit Nehru knew what was Sengol. He still, I mean, look, when a set of priests are coming to you and you're being, taking over as the Prime Minister of the country, Pandit Nehru knew very well what is the importance of Sengol. So knowingly, accepting is one. And second, you may have well have rejected. He said, no, outrightly, I don't want to. I mean, this is not something that I believe in. But he accepted, right? So at that point in time, it was all, I'm the first Prime Minister.
Sumant Raman, isn't Chola Empire, aren't Chola Empire achievements inspiring for you?
Who have given him presented the Sengol to him. He did not say.
Sorry to be interrupting Sumant Raman and Mr. Naidu both. I have a breaking news development coming in on the NEET scam, which concerns so many of students and the parent community, and so I have to go to it, and which is that protests have broken out inside the NTA office, which is the National Testing Agency.
बीजेपी की सरकार ने नहीं माना है जो एनटीए धांधली कर रही है जिस एनटीए ने लाखों छात्रों का भविष्य खराब कर दिया और अब सीयूटी के पेपर में भी गड़बड़ी आ रही है पहले नीट का पेपर इस एनटीए पर
Well, I'm told Akhil is joining us live from where these protests are taking place. Akhil, how many students? Who are these students? Are they those who have given NEET exam and have suffered because of the paper leak? Or are these political groups that have come to protest at the National Testing Agency office?
Well, Abhishek, you rightly said these are not the students who have given NEET entrance examinations. These are the students, wing students, that is from NSUI, that is the Congress Wing Students Union student. Here you can see the police officials are over here, and the police have been deployed over here. And this is the very much NTA headquarters where right now I'm standing. And I'm just moving forward to show you the exact visual, what exactly happened at the very center of NTA. This is the first floor of NTA headquarters. Here you can see this is the first floor where the NSUI workers came over here and they just locked the door. They bolted the door and put a lock over there, and then they tried to create a ruckus inside the NTA office, and they have been constantly demanding that the NTA must be banned. And we are moving forward towards that direction where the lock has been put. I would like to request move forward and show you the exact visual at the very
All right, so these protests taking place at the NTA office, this seems like NSUI, the National Student Union of India, which is the student body of the Congress party. The fact remains that student community is affected, and the failure of the NEET's exam in keeping its integrity and the manner in which it was compromised, and the paper leak and the subsequent developments which made the NTA cancel, not just order a retest of some of those students who were given grace marks, but also cancel subsequent examinations that are conducted by the NEET, including the UGC NET, has caused a lot of discomfiture across the country, to the students, to those who are appearing, to those who are planning to appear next year, because there are doubts now about the integrity of the exam. And in that scenario, despite the fact that a lot of work has been done by the government to make sure that the guilty are punished, the damage has been done. Akhil is back with us live. Akhil, coming back to you, how long have these protests been going on, and how come these students could get inside the building where the NTA office is, and is the police actually allowing these students to carry out those protests?
Well, Abhishek, what happened that they initially told the officials, their staff over here at the NTA headquarters that they are here to just raise their concern and they are going to protest in a very peaceful manner. Here you can see this is the NTA headquarters building at the first floor. This first floor is basically owned by the NTA, National Testing Agency. So here if you see, I would like to move forward, but there's some network issue over there, Abhishek. So we can't move forward. When we go over there, there's some jammer issue. That's why we cannot go there. So what happened at that time, the NSUI protesters arrived over there and they started raising slogans that NTA must be banned. So when the officials over here from the NTA came out and they tried to speak to them and told them that they need to just write an application later or submit their memorandum so that the next step forward could be taken, they refused to do that and they put a lock at the gate of the NTA headquarters. And then after that, what we saw that the Delhi police team arrived over here. DCP from the Southeast District, Mr. Rajesh, they also arrived over here. And after that, at the NTA headquarters, the protesters were dispersed from this very site, Abhishek.
Okay, so the students have been dispersed and the protests, in fact, seem to be now happening outside. Akhil, if I am reading it right, are the students still there outside? Are they continuing with those protests outside, having been removed from inside the building?
Absolutely. The entire space of the NTA headquarters have been evacuated. As you can see, I would like to request my VJ to show you the visual here at this point of time. Delhi police officials are even telling us, the media, to come out from this very premises of the NTA. And if you see, all the NSUI workers and the protesters have been told to move out from this very place, and no one is allowed to enter inside the NTA headquarters. So right now, no one is inside. The protesters have been dispersed by the Delhi police officials and the personnel over here, and at this point of time the protesters have moved out from this very place, Abhishek.
Okay, it seems the protest is over and the protesters, essentially NSUI activists, have moved out of the venue. And thank you so much, Akhil, for bringing that breaking news development. NTA remains a hot button issue. The NEET exam failure remains a hot button issue. In fact, just a while back we broke the story of the possibility of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan making a statement on the floor of the House in the Lok Sabha. And in fact, Ravi Shankar Prasad is addressing a press conference. Let's cut to that.
क्या चाहते हैं कि नेशनल एलिजिबिलिटी टेस्ट को, प्रश्न पत्रों को डार्क वेब से बेचा गया तो कार्रवाई नहीं हो? जरूर होगी। हम मालूम है कुछ लोगों को परेशानी होती है, बिहार में विपक्ष के लोगों को परेशानी होती है, उत्तर प्रदेश में भी विपक्ष के लोगों को परेशानी होती है, जिन लोगों को सरकारी प्रश्रय मिला है पिछले कई वर्षों से उनको परेशानी होती है। हम चाहते हैं परेशान हों, और आस्ते आस्ते जब परतें खुलेंगी तो ऐसे लोगों को कांग्रेस के शासन में कितना वरदहस्त मिला है ये भी सामने आएगा। लेकिन जिस तरह से दफ्तर में जाकर तोड़फोड़ करने का मतलब क्या है? रिकॉर्ड से हेराफेरी करना चाहते हैं? ये नहीं करने दिया जाएगा, इसकी हम पूरी भर्त्सना करते हैं।
रवि जी, लेकिन सवाल इन्हें ने ताला जड़ दिया, एनटीए के दफ्तर पे ताला जड़ दिया,
ये तो और भी दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है। पूरी सख्त कार्रवाई करनी चाहिए। क्यों ताला जड़ा? इरादा क्या है? क्या दाल में कुछ काला है क्या, ताकि लोग न पकड़े जाएं, इससे पहले ही खरमंडल कर दो? तो सरकार ने इसके दबेगी ना झुकेगी, सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई होगी। और जो भी ये हैं और जो भी इनके आका हैं और जो भी इनके राजनीतिक मास्टर हैं, सबके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होगी। संजय ठीक है।